The history of cinema. The magic lantern, also referred as Laterna Magica, is an early type of image projectory developed in the 17th century. There has been some debate about who the original inventor of the magic lantern is. The magic lantern has a mirror in front of a light source that gathers light and projects it through a slide of an image scanned onto it. The light rays cross an aperture which is at the opening of the lantern and hits the lens. The lens throws an enlarged picture of the original image from the slide onto a screen. Moving on to the late 1800s, where after their father retired, they began to work on their phenomenal ideas. The Lumiere brothers were made up of two sons of a well-known portrait painter in Lyon, Anton Lumiere. They both took after their father with their scientific minds and creativity, and were sent off to a technical school. After watching Thomas Edison's kinetoscope, they knew they had to make their own. By February of next year, they had finally produced a working model of their own camera, which they called the cinematograph. The Lumiere brothers had made a variety of short films from the same angle on a tripod. The first public film screening was on December 28, 1895. However, Louis believed that the film industry had no future. Georges Méliès, who was also from France, went on to editing and making films lasting up to 40 minutes using 1-minute reels. After his hard work, he made the film A Trip to the Moon in 1902. After 3 years of being an electrician, Edwin Porter in 1896 began to work on his motion pictures. Edwin Porter was the first American filmmaker to put video editing to use. However, before Porter joined the laboratory of Thomas Alva Edison, he worked as an electrician. The Thomas Edison Company's main aim when making their first films was to amuse the audience using their invention, a motion camera and projector. One of the first film experiments was Life of an American Fireman in 1903. This was among the first that had a plan, action, and also a close-up of a hand pulling a fire alarm. They then went on to making another film called The Great Train Robbery, which was an excellent example of editing. It was also produced in 1903 and had a variety of new editing techniques and special effects, and also a split screen. Griffith then went on to creating a more advanced way of editing techniques. He used shot sizes, cutting on action, intertitles, reverse shots, cutaways, and also introduced flashbacks. Griffith then went on to make Judith of Bethulia in 1913, The Birth of Nation in 1915, Intolerance in 1916, and Broken Blossoms in 1919. In 1923, Sergei Einstein became very active in the film industry. Sergei later introduced documentaries and used propaganda. Back then, editing was all done manually and considered similar to knitting. This is because editors physically cut and pasted films together, and then threading the film on a machine with a viewer. We now have production companies that have the option of bypassing negative cutting altogether by digital software. Today we use so many different digital programs such as Adobe Technologies and other programs which specialize in certain areas like After Effects and Sony Vegas.